أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله رب اشرح لي صدري يسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you all are doing fine. Eid Mubarak. Inshallah, tomorrow we will be having our Eid. I believe that the entire America, all Muslims, is doing Eid together this time. MashaAllah, that's a very good news. Sometime it's divided. Also, we have a new guest with us, Shah Ikram Haq, our beloved Ikram Bhai. Thanks for joining. And we use the same link every week. Please keep coming. And again, salam to everyone. Today, I'm going to give it to Brother Cebli. Before I give it to him, I would like to quickly give a thanks to Brother Islam for last week's session, even though Imam was not here, but it was an excellent presentation and a lot of Q&A session. There are a couple of questions. It's came from brothers, and also it's question for myself too. I would like to ask Imam to clarify it today, if possible. So number one is what is came from Brother Islam's presentation, the part of paycheck of the earnings, not surplus or excess after meeting the expenses. So basically, we need to understand from your perspective that how you clarify from a zakat perspective. Another one is once zakat is paid 1 year on the saving, it is no longer considered as savings for the following years, even if you have the same money intact in the following years. So basically, we paid zakat for earnings or something, and it is in my bank. So next year, I don't need to pay any zakat anymore. So it's my question, and another brother also asked the same thing. So I need to just request you, Imam, if you may clarify or anything else you want to add into the zakat perspective. That's about it.
Mamun, can I make a comment here? I know Imam Cebli. Imam Cebli, can I just make one comment, please, sir? Imam?
Yes.
Floor is yours, brother Hassan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, I know that last week that we had a wonderful, wonderful presentation by Islam Bhai. And I know Musle has given thanks to Islam Bhai through email. But I'd like to echo that sentiment publicly so that everybody knows. That was an outstanding presentation. Tough topic. We know that. A lot of discussions. We have learned a lot, and we have laid out a lot of issues. And I really appreciate Islam Bhai's courage to talk about it. Thank you so much, Islam Bhai. Really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Islam. Thank you. There's a small comment. Thank you.
I want to make one quick comment that should clarify some of the things. Islam Bhai did this presentation based only on Quran, whatever is in Quran. And so we should remember that, so from that perspective, I think whatever he said is, it is as per Quran. He did not go into the details of hadith or other sources. So I wanted to make sure that, that we understand that, and that's the perspective. Thank you. Hello.
All yours, Imam.
Is any more thing will come from the brother or the sister about the presentation of my teacher, Brother Islam?
Imam Cebli,
Yes.
I think I echo the same Dr. Hassan made, and of course Mamun as well as Dr. Ahmed. Presentation was just, I think, wonderful. Some of the things that he presented, of course, as Mustafa said, based on Quran, and I found it really revealing and very educational. At least made me think a lot about it. So I think, so from that thinking, I don't want to take too much time. I want to thank Dr. Islam for making the effort and educating us on that. So that's.
It is true, because even I was reading this and going through all the ayah and think as what he did, excellent. But whenever something is stuck in somebody's mind, so that's better to know, because like I didn't know, and some of you probably don't know, that when we pay zakat on something, the next year I don't need to pay on zakat. So it will save my money, trust me. So let's see that if Imam can also teach us on that context, what we should do. If it is, then we should change our, paying behavior. So this, I think, is better to hear from Imam also, inshallah. But alhamdulillah, Islam Bhai gave a lot of information, a lot of proof from the Quran, and it's all clear, no doubt about it.
Mamun bhai, I just want to know if you have recorded the event.
Yeah. We have the recording. We have the recording. We also have the presentation, alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Let us know
Mamun,
how we can.
If I add to that, Mamun, that what Islam Bhai presented, that your zakat has to be from the earning. So it really goes back to you don't have to pay from the savings. That means totally. So that's what
Right. That's why.
that.
Exactly.
So,
that's why.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So if the zakat is from the earning and in continuous basis, so you don't have to pay for the savings. It is automatically comes.
Right. That's right. Exactly. Because what happened, like in my case, if I give my example, I pay every year on the top of whatever I paid before. So I'm paying, I may not need to pay it, because if I take care of one time, that's it. So this is something
because of the earning.
As Billah Bhai said, it's a very complicated gray areas. But what Islam Bhai said in the Quran perspective is all clear, no question asked. But I'm saying also Hadith also comes into this practice, because like for prayers perspective, nowhere in Quran it says how to pray, but that's come from Hadith. And also, I was also giving a reference for one of the ayah in the Quran. It says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you follow your, Allah and Rasul messengers. It's clear in the Quran. So let's see, inshallah, how our brother Cebli explain it, so that inshallah it will be a good learning for all of us. But thank you, Islam Bhai, for such a wonderful work. That's an asset presentation.
Mamun, one other little point I just want to bring up, and you can find that probably useful, is that one thing Dr. Islam presented based on Quranic ayah is that we should pay our zakah as we earn, not we wait until the end of the year, for instance, because this is the haq of the poor. And it should be, and their need is always, not at the end of the year.
And This is another good thing, yes, because even my wife and I, we decided from this presentation that we should do it. My wife came to me and said, Mamun, every month, whatever net comes from your paycheck, we will take 2.5% and put it into the jar, or we'll write it down. And then we'll just pay. And
no, it's not, to my understanding, what Islam Bhai said. If yes, you could, as Bilawai said, that you could earn, you can pay these things, but 2.5% of your savings, is that what you said, Islam Bhai?
I don't think so. Islam Bhai said whatever earning is coming, you pay 2.5%.
Because the reason is that you zakah, when you purify your money. So are you going to purify your whole earnings?
Whole earnings.
Or are you going to purify only the savings at the end of the year? That's not the thing, I think. So because Allah SWT said, وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ, that whatever I have given you, spend out of that. And that's my point. As you understand, it may have different meaning. And Brother Cebli, Alhamdulillah, he's a learned person. He may explain it. But as I understand as a layman, that's what I said.
Islam is sorry, this is Amjad. I think you also have said you define earnings as the paycheck, gross paycheck minus the taxes. That's your earnings, I think you defined.
Go ahead again, Amjad, you are breaking. Can you tell again?
No, I think Islam Bhai said that when you say earning means he defined as your gross earning minus the taxes you paid.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I said that if it is my paycheck when it's reaching to the bank, all the from the gross, all the taxes, all the fees, everything is gone. The net is coming in my bank. It's for the job. We are in a job, paycheck, W-2, right? But you're right. If your earning is coming from your own business, then obviously what you said, that's accurate. Yes. Thank you, Amjad Bhai. Okay, I think it's less. I think it's everybody is in the same pace. I think Mahbub Bhai, it is clear now for you also, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. In fact,
can you hear
the tax and all those expenses, after the tax and all expenses, that what you have as your earning, that's what you have to pay as a 2.5.
Hey, guys, I have a question. Can I hear this thing from Imam, what he says? Because this is completely contracting all I was hearing for the last 70 years. And I believe most of the Muslims, they pay based on the savings. And last meeting I said, if I earn $2,000 and my expenses are the $2,100, I'm at debt $100. And how do I pay tax? I'm borrowing money. So it doesn't make sense. And second thing is, you will know the tax at the end of the year when you fill the tax. Every month you don't know how much you will be taxed. So can I hear it from Imam?
Assalamu alaikum, Mamun Bhai. I have one question to you.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever just Akhtar Bhai said, actually, I know that even though I was not there last week, actually I missed it. So that whatever I'm making it, and whatever I'm earning from my paycheck, I have to pay my mortgage, other things, whatever in my savings account is there, sitting there for whole year. I didn't ever touch it. I have to give money 2.5% from my that savings. But what Islam Bhai said, or whatever you guys are saying, actually I missed the last presentation, but actually I'm not sure that. Can Imam clarify all on this, please?
Sure, inshallah.
Any more?
Brother Zaman, Brother Rukunut Zaman, do you want to add anything?
Okay, I'll ask my questions. Actually, you already defined my questions. That is, it is, in my understanding, zakat should be on the excess that we have, basically. And it's also in Quran. We pay from excess. And also, it's not the paycheck, it's the excess. And also, we know that we pay the zakat throughout the day. What we do at the end of the year, we just do the calculations, make sure that whatever we paid, is it enough or not? If it is not enough, we pay the rest. So that's what we do. We don't really sit with our money the whole year and we pay at the end. That's what we don't do. We just keep paying. And at the end of the year, we just do the calculations and to make sure that where we stand and make sure we pay whatever is needed. And also,
but
the other question
are you saying that just the amount for excess when we go and pay?
Yes,
is that
that's my understanding, that zakat is going to be paid from the excess. So because at the beginning of the year, you don't know what is your excess, but you're not going to hold your money also throughout the year. So you keep doing giving the zakat throughout the year. At the end, you just calculate what is your excess and make sure whatever is paid, it is covering your zakat or not. If it is not, you add it and pay. If you paid more, fi sabilillah. So it's you paid more. So my second question is that I understand that the practice is, it is not once you pay the zakat on your amount at the end of the year, it is not that you don't bring that money again next year. Yes, of course. Next year, you don't care whatever you paid in the previous year. The next year, the new year comes, again, you complete your zakat based on the excess money that you have. So these are my, the main comments.
Okay, I think, and for the new brothers and sisters who joined today, for your information, you probably missing. What we do over here, we basically do research, we discuss among us, and when we cannot conclude on something, we ask Imam, and Imam clarify us as per Quran and Sunnah. That's how we learn. So don't be lost that was going on here. So this is a normal practice of ours, alhamdulillah. Go ahead, Imam.
I want to quickly add one thing.
Sure.
We do by Quran and Sunnah, sure, right. But in the previous, not the last Halaqa, but the previous one, Imam Cebli brought up another guideline, which is ijtihad. So I just wanted to mention that, if we cannot find something in Quran or Sunnah, then we go to ijtihad. Right. And we'll talk about ijtihad maybe some other time. Thank you.
Inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن سار على هديه إلى يوم الدين. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, allowed me to greet all of you, and especially greeting to our viewer, Muslim and non-Muslim, locally, nationally, internationally. And the meaning of this greeting to say peace and the blessing of Allah be upon you all. And when we initiate this greeting in Arabic, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Tonight already is the night of the Eid in overseas, 7 hour, 8 hour between us and them. We say to everybody, may Allah accept all your ibadat in the month of Ramadan. May Allah bring happiness and a smile and laughing and joys in our home, in our school, in our masajid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward everybody, either participate in siyam or suhoor or tahajjud or ibadat, or stay in the masjid for the last 10 days of Ramadan in any part of the world. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala release the difficulty of the human being, not only the Muslim, the difficulty of the human being, the one they lost their houses, their countries, their belonging, their saving, their money, their children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala release their difficulty and replace them with something better and better and better. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alamin. About 20 minutes, it was the talking and laughing and joking. I love joking. And do you know one of the joke which I laughed on it for a few seconds? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, in chapter 2, that one of the color in the Quran, one of the color. And what was the color, Imam? The color was the color of yellow, safra, asfar. And one of the brother today appeared to us with the color of asfar. But the other brother was matching him. He appeared with the color of blue, azraq, which means those, and the white. Imam has the white. That is the color of, you know, white, abyad, bayad, looks like the snow. We have to be happy. We have to be su'ada. We have to laugh. We have to know each other. We have to live as Brother Al-Mamun said, in this Zoom, we are family. We are brother, we are sister. We have Quran, we have hadith, we have new thinking, we have ijtihad, we have everything. But the final word, it's not the word of Imam Cebli, sorry. Neither any one of us in the Zoom, sorry. The final word is going to be the word of Allah, then his Rasul, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and after the Rasul, intaqal al-Rafiq al-A'la, pass away. Yes, we have a scholar among us. We have mufti, we have sheikh, we have rule, we have regulation. We have to follow it as long as coming very close to the Quran and the Sunnah. Is money important? Most important thing maybe is the money nowadays. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about the money. And when you will find 82 times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk to us how we deal with our salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the next word of salah is the word zakat, sadaqah, giving, sharing, paying. And as much as we have knowledge how I make my wudu correctly, I have to calculate my money. How many rak'ah I pay Salat al-Fajr, Salat al-Zuhr, Salat al-Asr, Salat al-Maghrib, Salat al-Isha, Salat al-Tarawih, Salat al-Eid tomorrow. I have to look at my income, my saving, my money, my property, my land, my everything, because Salah and Zakah are a twin in 80 places, 82 places in the Quran Kareem. What the Sunnah did to the Salah, what the Sunnah did to the Zakah or to Hajj or other, because our topic is Zakah today, Just explain it in more detail. Sunnah is the way to understand the Quran. Quran is there. Who give us the Quran is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the minute someone will say he does not want to implement the Quran, you are telling me, as your brother Hamad, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam never exists. Islam never exists, I mean in the time of Rasulullah, but Islam was in the time of Adam and Noah and Ibrahim and Jacob and Isaac and Ismail and Yusuf and all the prophets. Why I am saying this, my dear brothers and sisters, before we go to the more detail about those comments coming from the brother and sister with good meaning, because you have to pay the base. When you like to build a house, you like to put very strong pillar, and you have to have a basement and protect your basement from the water. And then you go to the second floor and the third floor, and maybe the last floor just a view to all the line. And you know, nowadays the world is competing among each other. What is the tallest building in the world? What do we have in those thin buildings in the world? Which country pay more money to have this, tall building or short? Which means people are competing. But my competition today, me and you, we have to compete toward Jannah. Not how much money we save, not how much money we have in the bank, not to whom we give the zakat or not to give zakat. Yes, that's a good detail. But our competition, our race to go over the bridge, to carry the torch, to say, I was able to achieve that running, maybe the marathon, I wish I can run in the marathon in this age. To run in the marathon, our marathon is to come to the door of the Jannah, and the door of Jannah will be open to all of us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. 3 comments before we go to try to give myself and all of you some of the answer of your comment, inshallah ta'ala. The first thing, inshallah ta'ala, I hope all of us, we write this sentence either in Arabic or in English. The first sentence is, in Arabic, as-siyam la yatrukuna, which means fasting will never say goodbye to us. When I say fasting, I don't mean only Ramadan. Ramadan already left tonight after Salat al-Maghrib in America, in Europe. But next year will come another Ramadan. But the word fasting will never ever leave us 365 days per year. And I will give little comment about it. Second statement, Al-Quran la yufariquna. The book of Allah, the Quran, will never ever stay away from us. We have it 24 hours in our hand, in our salah. We recite it in the morning, we recite it in the evening, we recite it when somebody died, we recite it when we buy some, the Quran will never ever leave us, because we have to be connected with the Quran. And the last statement is, as-salah, the prayer, the namaz, as-salah tulahiquna, which means the salah is running behind us. We're running maybe in front of the salah. You know what's the time of the salah, but the salah, when all the time she is running behind us to encourage us, do the salah. Why I like to start, our meeting today with those 3 statements, because Islamically or naturally, not Islamically, by nature, many people are maybe more happy or more sad because Ramadan is saying goodbye to us. No, don't. I would say don't be more sad, don't be more happy. Because more happy, you are not going to fast. No, we can fast. And to be sad, why you are sad? same activity you are doing in Ramadan, Allah will give you the same activity. You can do it after Ramadan, but not as obligatory, but you can do it as a voluntarily, which means we live with Ramadan, with fasting, we live with the Quran, and we live with the Salah. If we take those three advice today, after tomorrow of the day of the Eid, practice fasting every 6th day of month of Shawwal, Monday and Thursday, we talk about it, 13, 14, we talk about it more, but as I said, don't say goodbye to Ramadan, to fasting, but Ramadan will come next year, inshallah ta'ala. Those are the three comments that I like to make it before I go to the topic of related all your thought, how Brother Islam, mashallah, congratulate him, did the presentation about the zakah, and at least the three of you, Jazakumullah khair, said he was talking only according to the Quran. Yes, he opened the Quran, he collected those verses, and what he did, I believe, only gave you the meaning in English. The meaning in English, what was written about those verses only. He did not go with you another session to go to the detail of a hadith, the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He never went through the fiqh book. This is not the Quran, this is fiqh book. This is the book, all the part of the book about zakah. He did not pick any book related to the fiqh, jurisprudence of Hanafi or Shafi'i or Maliki or Hanbali or Ja'fari. He did not went through his presentation because I know time is not sufficient to tell you this is the mazhab said this is the mazhab said that. He just gave you the meaning of the verses. Now, if some of us, exactly as maybe 100 Muslim or non-Muslim brother, they have some background about the Arabic language, but when they wrote the meaning of the verses in English, they wrote it according to their understanding, not according what the Quran meant, because they are not Allah. The only one knows what the Quran meant by that verse or that word is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he is the one revealed the Quran Kareem to Prophet Muhammad sallam in Arabic language. And the final word I would like to say here, before I open the book and read to you from the zakat, is yes, Brother Muslih was 100%. Couple weeks ago, I mentioned the story of Muaz ibn Jabal, one of the great Sahabi. Rasulullah said to him, "Oh Muaz, you are going to go to live among the people of the book in Yemen. If some of them came to you to ask you a question, how you answer that question?" Muaz ibn Jabal said, "Ya Rasulullah, I will look at your Quran, the book of Allah." And you remember in that time I said, the book of Allah in that day was not completed. There is still coming from heaven, verse by verse, surah by surah, because Rasulullah was alive. And the Quran was not written in a book. You know, Muaz ibn Jabal will carry it and said, "What is your question? This is the Quran." The Quran was only memorizing, or maybe wrote in certain paper, not a paper. In that time was no paper. Either skin of the animal or a piece of stone, which means the Quran was separated as a verses, but it was recorded in the brain and the mind of the Sahaba, Ridwanullahi alayhim. And they were smart enough to memorize the Quran from the first word Allah said it. The Sahaba will do it, except a few people. They used to write it according to the Quran Kareem, as Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and the others. Rasulullah went further to say to Muaz, "Oh Muaz, how about if you don't find the answer in the verses which you have it?" He said, "Ya Rasulullah, I know some hadith of you. I have some hadith of you. I will give them the answer from there." And Rasulullah went the third step, as the brother Musa said, if you don't have the Quran in your mind, if you don't have the Quran to answer the question, if you don't have the hadith which I give it to you, what you do? He said, I will use my mind, أجتهد برأيي ولا ألو. I will use my mind and I will not stop thinking. Now, the word ijtihad here, it is not to be contradict with the Quran. The word ijtihad is not going to be contradicted with authentic hadith. The word ijtihad is to open a door, think about it. If the Quran and the Sunnah will confirm it, yes, you said that is ijtihad. But million of ijtihad against the Quran, against the Sunnah, we don't call it ijtihad. Coming to the money. One of the concern of the Jama'ah. Do I have to pay the word zakat? $2.50 for every $100 only once per life, or next year if I still have the 970 what how 900
97.
no 70
997.
by 1,000. Take only 2 and 50%. I mean, I'm calculated the word $100, not 1,000. Every $100, $2.50. I pay it. I am putting the question now. Next year, my money went less, $2.50. It became 97, and 50 cents. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Do I have to pay the money next year on the less than 100, which means $90, $70 and 97.5? I did call Imam Abdul Khaliq al-Naqib of Masjid Patterson. Masjid Umar ibn al-Khattab, he's still alive. He graduated from a Sharia school in Cairo. I did not graduate from Sharia. I graduate from other school. But that is his specialist. He said, yes, ya Imam, you have to pay twice, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, as long as the money already saved and you don't need it for your expense. Now we have to clarify it. Did I make more money every year, more than the money already saved in 2-3 years? Alhamdulillah, we are doing it. And this is to answer the first concern. Yes, the word saving, you don't need it for your expense, your house, your car, your education, your food, your mortgage, and you have it in the end of the year as an nisab. Imam Abdul Khaliq al-Naqib of Masjid Umar ibn Khattab of Patterson, according to his thought, graduated from Al-Azhar University. He said, yes, we are entitled to pay that. Number 2, related to the brother who tried to say, I am living with a paycheck. I receive my check from ISCJ, alhamdulillah. I know around the whole year what is in my income, except, gift from here, marriage from here, how I do. We have 2 options. The first option is, as a Hamad, I'm talking about Hamad from the Quran and Sunnah, which I understand it. I have the right, and I have written in my note, believe me, looks like when I was a student, somewhere in the world, very old, a piece of paper, written not in a very nice handwriting. You have if you want to pay your zakat in advance for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you are entitled to do it. because your income is fixed and you know how much money you make in the end of the year, which means there is no need, this one school, there is no need to wait till after 1 year. All your saving is sleeping, not invest them, not take them out of the bank. You are afraid if you invest them with somebody, he will take it. You are entitled to pay the zakah in advance. In Arabic, we call it taqdeem daf' al-zakat. Taqdeem daf' al-zakat, that is one of the school. It's in the book in front of me. But the normal thing, the Musahaba, they used to do it in their life. Now I'm talking hadith, not Quran. But the hadith is explain the Quran. In the hadith, you have to wait 12 months exactly. In Arabic, يحول عليه الحول. يحول عليه الحول, which means after 12 months, after 12 months per year, either the year of a Gregorian year or maybe lunar year, and after you spend all what you need and you don't live as a homeless, I mean, you don't save the money to say I have more money. No, you have to spend on your expense from A to Z. I don't have the whole list. Maybe some of you can give me the list. How did you spend your money? You spent your money in your renting house, the buying house, the car, the dress, the food, name it. In the end of the year, you see how much you have in your under your mattress, in your bank, in your account, in your with your wife, and you look at the amount. If it's equal to the nisab, which means the nisab different from gold to silver to jewelry to cash money or maybe to bank account. We can talk about what is the equal nisab from the scholar who calculate the zakat. You can find it everywhere, alhamdulillah. And after you spend all your expense and you still have some extra, you pay your zakat in that extra, not in the money, which means you make it every month. The third concern comes from the Jama'ah. Do I have to pay my zakat in every month from my paycheck? I will leave it to that individual because we cannot guarantee what we live till tomorrow by nature. But I will answer that, brother, by a question. Did you pray your Salatul Zuhr before the time of Salatul Zuhr? Did you pray Salatul Asr before the time of Salatul Asr and so on, if you are not a traveler? The answer will be no. Why you have to pay zakah in advance, as you are not allowed to pray the salah before the time? Save your money, spend on yourself, spend in your family till after the year. Calculate the nisab, which means the quantity you're supposed to pay zakat on it. If you have it, pay zakat. If you don't have it, leave it between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will judge us according to our intention and according how much knowledge do we gain about our wudu, about our salah, about our zakah, about our siyam, and about our hajj. And I will close with this one verse we repeated many times. هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون? Are they equal of the people who know the detail about zakah and salah and siyam from the people who have no idea about this kind of knowledge? I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to understand our religion, and inshallah ta'ala will implement what Allah ordered us to do. And I will give the microphone back to Brother Al-Mamun. If more comment from the Jama'ah, we can clarify it. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all of us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه يغفر لكم. عيد مبارك. ليلة العيد مباركة for all of you. Happy Eid. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think Imam I got my answer, alhamdulillah. Yes, Brother Mahbub.
So my interpretation, what Imam says, exactly because it's very similar, like what you said, earning. So Amjad Bhai said earning, to me the same thing. I agree with Amjad Bhai. Earning is the one that after you get the money, you spend it, and at the end, that is your total earning. And then on the earning, what Imam said, then you pay 2.5%. Now, in the meantime, as Rokon says, Rokon Bhai said that if you pay it monthly, do some rough calculation, and that's fine. At the end of this, then at the end of the year, then you said, okay, did you pay more or did you pay less? So that's what my understanding. I just want to open the floor on this one.
Add to your statement, brother Mahbub, not Billah. Add to your statement is your previous saving.
Yeah.
Add it to your calculation, don't put aside.
Yes, I understand
the
that.
97.50 cents from the previous year.
Okay.
According to the Sheikh Abdul Khaliq al-Naqib, add it to your saving, inshallah ta'ala, and pay zakat on it. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alamin.
Ameen.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Okay, Brother Zaman.
Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I think I got clarification from Imam Cebli. That's how I also understand. So thank you, Imam Cebli. I think we have more in-depth questions that we can ask Imam Cebli. Is that how we take, what are the items that we bring in our calculations about our savings? That 401k, we live in this country, we have 401k, we have IRA, we have other like Roth IRA, we have different accounts of, like our retirement money, pension money. So this is questions that we can ask Imam Cebli, and what is his opinion about those items, how we bring those items in our, zakat calculations. If,
Brother,
Imam Cebli can give some answer on that.
The same Sheikh, I asked him about the saving, and you pay the money as long as you have it. I asked him the same question, because I don't have 401k, I don't have anything. I mean, company, I'm working with ISCJ, and alhamdulillah, I am very happy with that, and I hope inshallah Allah will accept it from them and from us, from me. But maybe in American system, in modern system, in all those company, you pay the money, you save it, you put it, you cannot take it every year. If you take it every year, you have to pay penalty. I did ask for that and I studied it. Alhamdulillah, I am familiar with that. It will be similar to, if you can look at my hand, it will be similar to a person already borrow money from other person, and the person who borrowed the money, let me say he lost it, or maybe he's not able to pay it, or maybe he spent it for food in his family and he became poor. Does this money have to pay zakat on it, either from the owner of the money or from the borrower? The Fadilat Sheikh said, as long as the money is not in your hand, I don't have my wallet is upstairs. As long as the money is not in your hand and you own that money, and you are free to open your hand and take $2.50 and give it as zakat, you are not entitled to pay any money for all the number, which mean you the way you mentioned, saving in this bank, saving in that bank. If I take it, I will pay penalty, because really it is not in your hand. And one of the conditions to pay zakat, you have to transfer the title. I try to find the word in English. The title of the money, to give it to the other person, and the other person will be the owner. The minute you give the money, somebody have to own it. All the system which you mentioned, believe me, in reality, you are not the owner of the money. The money, it is somewhere, but it's not in your hand. When you get it, you pay the zakat on it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, according to the budget which you have it, or the capital, not the budget, the capital. You have $100, 250 cents. Oh, I have my $100 there for 10 years. I don't have it. It belongs to the bank, belongs to the company, belongs to the company who match it. Think about what I try to say in summary. The minute you own it, you are already able to be free to give it to somebody else. The Sheikh said, in that time, you pay the zakat. Not before, not after, not advance, not tomorrow. And he said, Allah knows the best, inshallah.
So, Brother Cebli, I have on that question. So what I understand is, let's say I have $100 in my 401k. And right now I'm underage. I cannot, I don't withdraw it without penalty. So, but I know that I have $100 in my 401k. If I have the right to get that money out of my 401k today, what I have to do is I have to pay tax. I have to pay penalty. Let's say my understanding is my 401k, $100, if I withdraw it, let's say I will pay $35, all different taxes and penalty, all let's say 40%, $40, all taxes and penalties, is still I will have in my hand $60. So that is my own money. That I know that it is in my hand. So in my understanding, I have to pay zakat on that $60, not necessarily $100, but I have to pay zakat on $60. That's what I understand, Imam.
No, I mean, just be careful. Just be careful for all of us. Not every dollar we have it, we have to pay zakat on it. We have to calculate the total amount of the money we save. If that money reach the level of the word nisab, write it down, please, and look at the dictionary what they mean in nisab in English. What reach the nisab, I have to pay the money on the nisab, which means the quantity I supposed to pay zakat on it. I will give you some little calculation from my old note when I believe I was in the Egypt about, give you example about what I have. Let me go to the sheep. Well, I don't have a sheep, but I have a friend have a sheep. He said, you are not, the hadith said, Prophet Muhammad said, you are not allowed to pay zakat on 39 sheep. If you have every year 49 sheep, you are not allowed to pay the zakat. When you pay zakat, when they reach 40 sheep. Okay, when you have certain number of dirham in that currency time, according to my note, when you have 200 dirham, you take 5 dirham. If you have 195 dirham, you are not entitled to pay zakat, but you can pay sadaqah. And I hope everybody in the Zoom don't mix between zakat as obligatory as 2 rak'ah fajr, 4 rak'ah zuhr, 4 rak'ah asr, 3 rak'ah maghrib, 4 rak'ah isha. And don't mix it with the word sadaqah, which means I give sadaqah to the poor. Two different issues we're talking. We're talking about obligatory. I am not allowed to pray Salat al-Fajr 1.5 rak'ah. I have to pray 2 rak'ah. I have to pray 4 rak'ah. That is the nisab of paying the zakat. When we go to more detail in the fiqh, we can find the nisab in the dollar. I have some paper in my office, ITNA, Helping Hand, all the charity company who collect the money, they have in their booklet what is the nisab in the uncle dollar. I call it uncle dollar. How many dollar you save around the year? You calculate it and take it as zakat, not as a sadaqah, and Allah knows the best, inshallah ta'ala.
Imam Cebli, just to make clarification, when I said that I pay zakat on that $60, I meant actually I bring that $60 in my nisab calculations. That's what I meant.
If that $50 reach the nisab, you pay on it. But if that $50 with other dollar does not reach the nisab, you are not entitled to pay zakah, but you can pay charity and Allah protect your belonging, inshallah ta'ala.
That's right. So I bring that amount in my total nisab calculations because I have other money. So I need to put everything together, including that $60. Then I come up with what is my resultant excess. I pay zakat on that.
May Allah reward you, and I learn from you, mashallah. Looks like you are in a very good professional calculus.
Thank you.
MashaAllah. Imam, I want to quickly add something. Muslima, just 1 second. I want to just add one thing, Imam. What you were mentioning about 401k, that was in the FIC Council North America before, and a couple of years ago, I think a year and a half ago, the North America FIC Council has modified that thing, and they said that if you have a 401k, and that money, you will pick a date that day. If you had to take out the money, and it's called if that money has been vested, then after you reduce your penalty, after you deduct your taxes, whatever money would come to your hand, that's your savings, and you have to pay zakat. This is the I will send you the reference, inshallah. And this is the North America FIC Council has modified their decision on 401k. I just want
that's
to
what Mamun, that's what is the when Muslima said all those 3 or 4 documents, I don't remember, and one of the document really explained to that one, Muslima, if I'm right.
May I make a comment here before Imam goes? I want to make a comment.
Yes, Muslima, go ahead. Sorry to stop you.
The comment is first of all.
That is will go under what Brother Muslih said. Every year, Allah give us a new scholar, give us a new thinker. Allah give us a group of the ulama to sit down to say, in the year so and so, this is what we like to do. As long as their thought very close to the Quran and the Sunnah, we follow it. But I don't want to depend on a group. I have no idea who are they. Sorry to tell you, but the name may be very fancy name, and maybe they deal with interest and with riba and this, and they come up with something we are not familiar with it. We have to be very, very careful about from where we got this information, and may Allah reward all of you. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen.
Yeah, in fact, Imam Cebli already answered some of the things that I was going to say. Oh my God, inshallah. So one thing is the nisab. Nisab is the English word is the threshold. Threshold is if it is above this, you do something. If it is under this, you do this. So nisab is that the threshold is if your income, not income, savings is above the threshold, which is above nisab, then you pay zakat. So that's the English meaning of nisab. Now, so we should keep our terms in line so that we are clear. So when Rokon says excess, he meant savings. And so earning, doesn't mean much. You can say income. Income is one thing clear. Savings is one thing clear. So that's the word that we should use to make it clear. So another thing that I wanted to point out is that there are various about the 401k and the retirement. There are various views. I have tried to look for it, and there is no consensus of it. So various views based on ijtihad, of course. The people analyzed it and they used their knowledge and stuff. So they came up with this. And the FIC Council, North American FIC Council, a few years ago they had one view. Now they have another view. So there is no consensus on the ijtihad. When there is a consensus, it's called isma. Isma is another thing that the Islamic world used in the past to come up with a consensus. Or if all the ulamas agrees, if all the ijtihad agrees on something, then that becomes isma. Isma means that consensus. So on the 401k retirement thing, I did not see any consensus. Different group of people have different views on this. And so since there's no consensus, I think that you can follow one or the other, or Rokon is very generous, mashallah, he pays on this. But there are other views that, the money that you don't have in your hand, you don't have to pay zakat on this. So I just want to mention that there is no consensus on the retirement fund 401k on how you pay your zakat. One of the things they say that whatever money you have this year, because it's invested, so next year you may not have that money. The whole thing may be gone. As you know that how the investment, how the financial, the stock and bonds, how they work. So anyway, so that was what I was wanted to clarify, that there's no isma, there is no consensus. So therefore we can use either this version or that version to our liking. And I want to add one thing, the Islam Bhai's thing that he said, that these calculations are very complicated and sometimes we cannot do the right thing. So since if you are able to pay more, so that will clarify, that will cleanse your, that will purify your money and pay more. So in fact, a lot of people do that, and I think that that's a very practical thing to do. If you think that you can afford it, go ahead with that plan. So this is what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Musleh.
I think
Can I ask
Mustafa said very beautifully. I totally agree with what he said. I think in a way, and in fact, he sent us some information and very, very useful, and he did beautiful research as he always does. So that is very, very helpful, Musleh. I think one thing I'm still confused, Imam Cebli, and that's why I liked what Dr. Islam said the other day, and his ayah, that ayah, mimma razaqnahum yunfikun. What I think the meaning, I guess, of that is that gave from whatever I gave you, even a smile, or what. So I mean, he put a lot of emphasis on that ayah, and in fact, there was the primary, I think, ayah that he used, and everything came from there, I think, in a way. So could you please tell us a bit more about the what infiku? What the word is unifikun? Can enlighten us a little bit more on that?
You open the Quran Kareem in Surah Al-Fatiha. Surah Al-Fatiha, 7 verses, summarize in general the entire other 113 surah. And the quotation which I like to say it when we say إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You alone we worship, and you alone we seek your help. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. One scholar wrote about 10-15 volumes about إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ في مدارج السالكين. Now, the minute you open the second page, not the same page, on the left side, Alif Lam Mim, which means those letters, Allah revealed the Quran Kareem, an Arabic letter. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. There is a book in the front of you, there is no doubt about it. In that book, it's not the book of calculus or book of more detail or book of geography or book of history or book of biology. No. Hudan, Allah sent that book to be a guidance, hidayah. Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ, Hudan, hidayah. And Allah clarify who are the people receive the hidayah, the one who fear Allah, be mindful of Allah, لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Then Allah right away explained to us from the Quran, in the Quran, through the Quran, who are al-muttaqeen. If you like to be among the muttaqeen, you do the following. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. They believe in the unseen. وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. They perform their salah. Now is your, mashallah, comment to the Red Islam, insist about it, explain it, take enough time. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. In general, maybe one slight of infaq apply to the currency. But the 90% of giving has nothing to do with money at all. Why? Because the money is part of the infaq. Infaq is exactly what we share the 5-10 minutes before we go to the recording, the halaqa. Put a smile in the other face, that is infaq. Advise the person, that infaq. Helping the person, that infaq. And I will share a personal story, and if people blame me, another Zoom, during the whole, since Corona, Allah is my witness. We never ever miss a Zoom every day from 5:30 nowadays till 6:30. I pray the Asr. And after Asr, I have to go to the office because I run the Zoom from the office, ISCJ. A brother hold my hand and said, Imam, can you give me, looks like a jack to my car, my battery died. I forget I am in the Zoom, I forget in Ramadan. We went to his car, we walked in his car almost 2 hours. I look at my watch, it was 6:45. I beat my head, where's my Zoom? That is infaq too, which means the word infaq, not only currency. What you provide to the other, Muslim and non-Muslim, it is infaq. But when Allah mentioned the word sadaqah, mentioned the word zakat, mentioned the word haq, he meant to give a currency or maybe food or maybe anything from what Allah give it to you. And I believe, brother, Islam mentioned that one of the zakat you pay it right away, not before, not after, not delayed, when you collect your season fruit. And I am from the area, we collect the apple every year. My father used, may Allah bless his soul, before he sell or before he transfer the boxes of the apple to the market to sell it, he said, no, 10, 15 boxes, leave it here in the field, the people will come take it on the same day. Which means the subject of the zakat, sadaqah, in fact, wider than one person, 2 person can cover it. But alhamdulillah, our library, our book full, but we have to do exactly what the brother Muslah did and brother Islam did. They write it down, send it to us, we read it, and we can be as in fact to fi sabilillah, and may Allah reward you.
Thank you, Imam Cebli, beautifully explained.
May Allah reward you, brother.
Thank you, Imam.
I have.
Go ahead.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Imam Cebli, thank you very much for clarification of the this nisaf and the how much where we should pay our zakat. Very clear, and that actually we used to know. In fact, there is a practical consequences here. Just I want to ask you, when we calculate at the end of the year, so there will be some future expenses, and that's a definite, like my child's expense, educational expenses. So those future definite expenses, can we put it in the calculation or not? Which will be like in January or February next year.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala order us to pay any salah in advance except when we are a traveler, to combine Zuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha?
No.
The statement which I learned from our teacher, as long as Allah does not put burden on us to do the ibadat for tomorrow, why I have to be aware about the expense of my son or my daughter or myself or my new car next year? I am living this year, which means there is no need for me, from my saving 2022 to say I'm not going to pay the zakat on it. I will transfer this expense for next year or next month. Hamad, I will never do it, I will never do it because I cannot guarantee for me or my son, the one I spent money on him or her, for next year. He can die, I can die, everything can go in a flood, as you know. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the end of Surah Al-Baqarah, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. My ability to eat only 3 meals, my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, not too much, little bit here and here, yes? Every day. Why have to worry about my lunch and my dinner and my breakfast tomorrow? I am living today. If you get it, which means I am not in charge for tomorrow for my ibadat. I am in charge for my ibadat today. If I have more, yes, I will invest, I will save, but I have to pay tax on it. I cannot transfer the expense of next year from my zakat this year. And I hope that will make some sense. Because I am not going to pray 5 times a day tomorrow, today. I say I will pray tomorrow, the Eid today. I'm not going to go to the masjid. If the rain, Brother Mustah said in his email, we pray inside. If it's rain, if not rain, we pray outside. I can pray the Eid today. Yes or no? I cannot pray the Eid today, yes? Why have to transfer that to next week? And Allah knows the best.
Thank you. Clear. It's clear.
Brother Ikram, I just want to add to that. You will have next year, when you are calculating, you will also have your another earnings next year. So you should be able to calculate from your next year earning also, rather than this year, what you have spent, what you have earned. So that's how I see it, what Imam said.
Yes, sure. But what my concern was immediate and definite expenses. Like I paid it in December, and in January, I know that I have to pay certain amount of fees or expenses before I earn the whole year of the next year. I was concerned about that particular item, not the like general.
I understand what you're saying, but somewhere you have to you have to draw a line up to this year. This is the earning. This is your expense. Yes. So it
anyway,
goes to the next year.
It's
so
clear now. Yeah.
Yeah, Mamun, I would like to ask Imam Cebli of one clarification. Imam, you mentioned that the calendar could be either lunar calendar or Gregorian calendar. In fact, in my family and also in the relatives that I know of, we used to pay this zakat. Most of the people did, for some reason, I don't know why, before the Idul Adha, before Idul Adha, before the Qurbani. They used to calculate it at that time, and they used to pay the zakat at that time. So that means that they are following the lunar calendar. And some people prefer, the paying during Ramadan also, So these are the 2 months which are most favorite to most people who pay zakat. I'm talking about back in Bangladesh, culture, not in the United States. So and also I read someplace that this year is calculated based on the Islamic lunar calendar. So, but you mentioned that we can pay zakat based on the Gregorian calendar also. So I would like to have a clarification of that.
The 2 occasions, my brother in Dhaka, in Bangladesh, and other Muslim world, they pick up to pay their zakat, either in Eid al-Adha, in the month of Zil Hijjah, or in Ramadan. They're looking for to gain more reward, because that is the blessing month, blessing, time. Hasanat will multiply, and may Allah reward them for that. When I mentioned you can pay your zakat on your lunar calendar, when I meant the people are familiar with the lunar calendar, Muharram, Safar, Rabi'a till the month of, Zil Hijjah. But imagine if we have one person in this room, they have no idea about what we're talking about, the 12 months in the lunar calendar in chapter 9. إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا. They pay their tax according to the Gregorian calendar. And when they file their tax, they find I have $100 extra. I will say yes, I will take $2.50 in the April, and I will give it away with intention because I don't know the lunar calendar. But if I know the lunar calendar, I prefer it for Gregorian calendar because for your calculation, the brother I said, mashallah, a good calculation, you are saving how many days per year? 360 days and 365 days. You know, you have saving less day. The lunar calendar is less day than the lunar calendar. Why? In Gregorian calendar, we have some months 30 and 31st and 28. But in lunar calendar, lunar calendar either 29 or 30. And that is the reason I said for the people who does not know the Gregorian, lunar calendar, they can pay in Gregorian calendar, and may Allah accept from all of them. Ameen ya Rabbal Alamin.
Yeah, Imam Cebli, I pray to Allah for more blessing on you, because this is a very key point, very fundamental. And I think that, you know, our ulama, you know, they should kind of emphasize this or mention this point, that if you pay by Gregorian calendar based on this idea, it is also okay. I mean, it makes, you know, for a lot of people, it makes more sense. But if you are very rigid that, you know, oh, only calendar, you know, the lunar calendar, and you cannot do Gregorian calendar, that is the spirit of it. I mean, you know, so I think it's very convenient, and it should be.
You allowed me to make only one statement, only to Brother Muslim, not to everybody, only to Brother Muslim. My request, my comment to you, Brother Muslim, and I am ready to say by Allah, which means I swear by Allah, because I love Allah and I admire His name and I pray according to His Quran. The one make our religion more difficult and the people run from this religion, some of the people who call themselves scholar. And may Allah forgive all of them.
Thank you. Very good. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. Okay, so I think that some of us have been talking and asking questions. I would like to go to our young folks, if anyone has any confusion or anything, because they've been very quiet so far.
Mamun, before we go to the young folks, can I just bring in one little thing? That's for clarification. And that is that the definition of zakah. It seems that what I get from all of the discussion from Imam today and from Dr. Islam the other day, there is no clear definition in Quran, as it seems. So it falls upon the Prophet, that is Sunnah, and istihad, what is the word? So that
definition,
yeah, so definition is there.
The definition of the zakat, the definition of the zakat is az-zakatu ismun lima yukhrijuhu al-insan min haqqillah ila al-fuqara. Only this statement. In English, somebody can find it in internet or somewhere in the other book. Zakah is the name. Zakah is the name, not object, not subject, you know. Zakah is the name of what the person will give away to the poor people. And here is haqqullah, is the right of Allah. Az-zakatu ismun lima yukhrijuhu al-insan min haqqillah ila al-fuqara, which means my jallabiya, don't say Imam Cebli making a joke about your jallabiya. No, I'm making my jallabiya. My jallabiya, I think it belongs to me. Your beautiful jallabiya, you think your wife give it to you to appear good, it belongs to you. Neither your jallabiya nor my jallabiya belong to us. Both of them belong to Allah.
Yeah.
The poor person see I dress new jallabiya and he get jealousy. I know he has some right on me to give him something on behalf of my jallabiya. Not only that, my dear brother and sister in Islam, the meaning went a little bit further to say, the reason Allah give this type of ibadah, name of zakah, because He wants us to purify ourselves. Allah will never benefit from the zakah.
Sure.
We are the one make ourselves pure, more pure, purifying our soul. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the reference from where we get this meaning. Allah ordered his Rasul in the Quran, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ. O Muhammad, peace be upon you, take from their money, amwal. Now, it's not talking about soul, not about talk about smile, not talking about, some good lecture. No. It said, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ. Take from their own money, their own sheep, their own camels, their own, belonging. خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً. See, Allah does not say zakat here. He mentioned the word sadaqah. Sadaqah in the Quran meant zakah. In certain verses, zakah meant sadaqah in the Quran. And the reference is Surah At-Tawbah, chapter number 9. Allah mentioned this verse, chapter 9, to give us the right meaning of the sadaqah or zakah according to the Quran Kareem. In general,
ayah number?
I will give it to you. Ayah number written here in the reference.
I think it's 60. I
60?
think it is 60. I think.
No,
But
60,
No,
no,
not 60.
not 60. Okay.
Different thing, 9, I believe.
Okay. So, okay.
It is
60 is إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها, the people who receive the zakah. But this is the order in Surah At-Tawbah. I will look at it right away to say, oh Muhammad, take from their money sadaqah, which means zakah, to purify themselves, to clean themselves, to be pure. And that is the definition of the zakat, brother. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to understand more detail. You can go over what we mentioned, inshallah ta'ala.
This is
Yes, 103. Billah, it's 103.
103. Inshallah, that's very good.
Surah 9, 103.
I think the word that they find useful, I think here is amwal, mal. This means wealth.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
That's
Mal,
very good.
amwal is the plural of the word currency or mal, inshallah ta'ala.
Many, mashallah. That's beautiful.
another one is also another one is also important. Surah 9, 60, where it mentioned the 8 categories.
Right.
60. Yeah. All right. Alhamdulillah. I think it's a very good session.
Mamun, I have a question to Imam. Imam, what is the threshold? How do we find out the threshold value for these things? You mentioned about the threshold. You mentioned about the threshold.
Nisab.
How do I find out the nisab?
I will say quick, as I said, I have the booklet in the masjid. Either Islamic relief or helping hand. They have a small booklet to tell the people what is the nisab according to the dollar in America. And there are 5-6 categories. Maybe inshallah ta'ala, I will make a copy and I will email it to brother. I think, if not mistaken, if a brother Al-Mamun can review what I emailed to him from last week to this week, I think I make a copy and send it that to him. Maybe he find it. He can put it on the website right.
I have
I think Mustafa knows it.
In fact, I also have it in my article.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Which article you're referring to?
$990 something, but it is there. And thank you for asking the question.
Inshallah, I will forward it to you.
Yeah, in fact, Mamun, okay, you should forward that to me also. I was waiting for that, in fact.
Yeah, I have it. I have the Imam, what he did, he take a picture and send it to me. So I will forward it to you all. Yeah, inshallah. Okay. I'll post it to our group, inshallah.
Since I didn't have that at one time, so I did more research, and that, mashallah, I learned something from that exercise. So Mahmoud, you can look at my write-up.
Yes, I was going through that.
Mashallah. Mustafa, the one that you sent it to us through email.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one, Mahmoud. Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, I think this is good. This is the clarification we are looking for. But before I go to the young folks, it is really, I want to give the floor to Brother Islam because he's been quietly, patiently hearing all this. Brother Islam, do you have any comments, question, concern?
My verses are very clear. I don't need an explanation. Allah knows the explanation. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So any young brothers, do you have any question?
Brother Mamun, before you go to brother the young people, can you you or brother Muslim forward to brother Islam the name of the book? Is not hadith book, is not, I mean, it's jurisprudence book, jurisprudence book, which means fiqh. The name of the book, Fiqh al-Sunnah, Fiqh al-Sunnah by Sayyid Sabiq of Egypt. Fiqh al-Sunnah, Sayyid Sabiq of Egypt, in English. Volume number 1, the whole volume number 1 is speaking about Salah, Zakah, Siyam, Hajj. 4 volumes. Those are the 4 pillars of Islam. And there is about maybe 20 pages written only about Zakah in English, in more detail. One time he will come, inshallah, to the Zoom and explain to us what is the Zakah in the Hadith and in the Fiqh, to complete his presentation, excellent presentation, when he said from the Quran only, inshallah ta'ala. And that is my suggestion to both of you. I have the book in English, I can give it to you, and may Allah reward you, inshallah ta'ala.
Yeah, Mamun, before you go to the others, I have one quick question for Imam Cebli.
Yeah.
Imam, when you are talking about the different fiqh, you mentioned about Hanafi and Hanbali and others. You also mentioned Jafri, and I think that there is a Shia scholar called Zafar as-Sadiq. Is that the same Jafri that you mentioned?
No, I meant Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq. He was the teacher of Imam Abu Hanifa in Baghdad in the year Abu Hanifa was a student.
Okay, but there is Zafar as-Sadiq. There's a Zafar as-Sadiq also in the Shia community. He's also considered one of the scholar Imam. This is not the same Zafar as-Sadiq?
I am talking about 250 years after Rasulullah time.
Okay.
250 years, which means they it's like for yesterday.
Yeah.
Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq Ridwanullah alayhi, Imam Abu Hanifa al-Nu'mani Ridwanullah alayhi, Imam Malik Ridwanullah Medina, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal Ridwanullah alayhi, and Imam al-Shafi'i of Egypt Ridwanullah alayhi. I'm talking about those Imam, the one who understand the Arabic language, the Quran, the Hadith, the Fiqh, the Urud, all these things, and they give us their feedback as a part of Ijtihad, inshallah ta'ala.
Okay. In fact, in our religious...
Mamun, can I make a comment? Mamun, Assalamu alaikum,
Yeah.
Mamun.
Yeah. Okay. Please. Go ahead, Brother Hassan.
For some reason, I'm out. I don't know why. What happened?
Yeah, we are hearing you. Go ahead.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Quick question to everybody, basically, especially to Brother Muslim. That the belief that we have, 2.5% of this zakat back in Bangladesh, Pakistan, subcontinent culture. Does anybody knows what is the culture in other countries like in Arab, Malaysia, Indonesia, those countries? Just cultural belief, not the word.
Dr. Hassan.
Yes.
This is not culture. No, I would like to.
I understand.
Yeah, sorry, it's not culture. It is the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We call it Ushr in Arabic. Ushr, which 1 of the 10th. 1 of the 10th, either Rub' al-Ushr or Nusf al-Ushr, which means half or quarter of Ushr. It was done by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. That's the reason I suggest to Brother Muslim and Brother Mamun to forward the entire book of fiqh to Brother Islam to look at it, read it, and when he have presentation, he will tell us. And all over the world, Mecca, Medina, Kufa, Egypt, Bangladesh, Lebanon, all the scholars agree about from the Sunnah of Rasul Sallam, 2.5% is the zakah, not sadaqah. Zakah has to pay. Sadaqah, you can give all your money. When Abu Bakr as-Siddiq give all his money, he give it as a sadaqah. When Umar give half of money, he give it as a sadaqah. But when Rasulullah sent the people to collect the zakat, they will never take one extra sheep from a person have 39 sheep. If he have 40 and 41, they will take one. If he has 39, they said, no, this belongs to your wife, to your children, we don't collect it. And that is not a tradition, as you said, but sunnah of Rasulullah, and Allah knows the best.
Imam Shibli, I'm sorry, my apology to you.
No. It's as I said, because
This
somebody said, no, we think a tradition to dress this way. That is tradition. But to pray toward the Qibla, it's not a tradition.
I understand. Well, maybe my word is wrong word. The belief, rather than culture, let's call it belief. That
You are right.
What we had believed back in our country culture, and we are trying to improve our belief, our knowledge. As we're discussing in this country for a long time, so we are improving our knowledge, which is very good. So my question to Brother Muslim, especially because he knows he has read a lot of stuff, and he does read a lot of other things as well. Whether he knows or anybody else knows, what is the belief back in other culture? Even Arab culture, Malaysian country, Indonesian culture. Those are big Muslim countries. What is the belief in those? Because back in our country, we added ornaments after using whatever ornaments your wife uses. You got to take out that one. If it's saved, if you're using it, it's not part of the counting. But obviously, that's not the truth. So again, if I ask Brother Musleh or anybody else, if you know all this belief in those different countries, different Muslim countries, what is the belief? If you could summarize it.
In fact, Hassan Bhai, I don't think I understood your question. Maybe you can have a separate discussion. But Imam Shibli already answered that this 2.5% is not a cultural thing. It is a universal Muslim thing, and it is in many hadiths and other places, and it has been practiced continuously since 1400 years ago. So I probably don't understand your question. What you mean by what is in the different culture?
Well, let me clarify. I don't think there's a disagreement even here with the 2.5%. All the discussion that we're having here, 401k, which is the savings or income, net versus gross, all the discussion that I'm talking about here. 2.5% obviously is universal. We all agree. There's no question at all.
But on the retirement fund, the Hassan Bhai, there is no consensus on how to handle those.
That's what I'm saying. Mostly that whatever we believe back in our culture.
In Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, they call it provident fund. What do you call
whatever I'm saying, whatever the belief. What is the belief in other countries, other Muslim countries? What do they do?
About what they do with the provident fund, that I don't know. So give me a few weeks, I'll try to find out.
Yeah, this is saying. This is basically obviously matter of Islamic discussion, just for common sense ideas. What do they do?
Okay. I got your question now. And
I have a question. Mustafa, I don't know if this was discussed. My apology for joining late. Was there a discussion on the collecting the fitra money during the Eid prayer?
No, we didn't talk about it.
We did not discuss it, but that's pretty well understood. And there are hadiths on this one. And in fact, the Rokon has told us many times, and he's in line with hadith. And I mentioned it in our Eid prayer, the email also there.
So let me give you a little background. Imam is pointing to you here that every Eid congregation we go, there is a box that says, if you forgot to pay your fitra before the Eid prayer, which is, then you can deposit your Fitra here will help you send it, will help you by sending this money to, you know, orphanage or some other places. And you know, what's your opinion on that? Because all Eid congregation, they do that. So, and we arrange a Eid prayer that there also we do this. So trying to
yes, in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba and the Tabi'in, many generations, the word currency never exists, and it was not in the hand of the people. It was in the hand of the people, the food, the barley, the raisin, the date. And they took from that kind of a three type, I mentioned raisin, date, barley, green. They took a quantity of full of the hand. If you can see my hand, full of the hand, maybe once or twice, and they give it to the poor to eat the same food the giver had. But year after year, generation after generation, mazhab after mazhab, they said, oh, I can give, maybe that family have enough date. Why have to give them more date? Let me give them a currency, and the currency equal to the money of, the money equal to buy that quantity, and we'll give it away to them. Nowadays, it became, looks like a habit. I agree with Dr. Hassan to say it became a tradition and a part of the religion, but it's not a part of the religion. I have to pay the $10. But do you know that $10 in America, maybe nowadays does not buy a sandwich for you or a cup of coffee in the airport or somewhere else, but back home, maybe can feed a family for maybe a week, which means now we are working in the area of ijtihad to think better for the benefit of the others, and the masajid, and the president, and the secretary, and the people of the box. I hope they are full of trustees, and we trust them to say, take my $10, send it to Lebanon. That is okay, as long as the money be received before Salatul Eid. No, I'm sorry, the money have to be paid on your behalf before Salatul Eid. Before Salatul Eid became Zakat Fitr, which means purify your fasting will be accepted. If you delayed it intentionally, after you pray Salat al-Eid, it will be accepted as a sadaqah. But my point here is not who pay it, who receive it. Do they have to receive it after the Eid is over? I would say no. Try to pay your Zakat al-Fitr before Ramadan. During Ramadan, let the receiver have the same dress you have it in the day of the Eid, same car, same appearance, he and his wife and children, no difference between them, and the people come to the Eid, and that is the purpose. نغنيهم عن السؤال في ذلك اليوم. You prevent the poor people in the day of the Eid, they will ask you. You give them that before, they became your brother, pray shoulder to shoulder with you, and you don't know who give and who take. And may Allah accept it from all of us. Ameen, Ya Rabbil Alameen.
Imam Cebli, I have another question very quickly. Now, when we pay fitra or any sadaqah or zakat, do we have to clarify it, or Allah will decide, okay, when you are donating these things to any particular people or any group of people or something, you have this portion I'm going to take as a zakat, or this part I'm going to take as a, if you exceed that part, then it will be automatically go to sadaqah, or we have to mention it, this is for zakat.
Related to the intention, when you give your zakat, haqqul faqir, I will write on my check zakat. I will write on my check zakat.
If I'm not sure what will happen.
No. Let us take step by step.
Okay.
I'm the one paying. Yes, Hamad is paying. I have to pay, let me, certain categories. One of them, you call it fidya of siyam, which means some person in my family does not fast that is different. I have to pay kafara or fidya for that. I have to give that to the receiver to tell that receiver if the masjid or individual or anybody, this is not zakat, this is not, zakat al-fitr, this is fidya for Ramadan. I specify it. If I pay zakat, I have to clarify it as a zakat to the receiver, not to use it in any other means. When I pay zakat al-fitr, the $10 or less or more, I will specify it. But if I go to the masjid and I have enough money to pay it in the box, that is according to my intention. I give the permission to the user to use it in the building, to use it in the light, to use it in the shitrak, to build a masjid. I will leave it to them. They will be in charge. But between me and Allah, Allah knows why I am giving it without mentioning it. There is very sensitive issue. All of us, we have it. If we are a receiver, sometimes it hurt us. If we are giver, it will hurt us more. If I like to give my zakah to one of my family member, and I maybe between me and Allah, I consider it zakah, but he will never accept it. If I said I will give it to you as a gift, he will be very happy. How I am dealing with this issue depend on the receiver reaction. And this is the receiver is in need for that, or just I will say, I will you gift. I will say between me and Allah, and every giving away will follow up by reminder, or maybe hurt the feeling of the brother. Don't do it at all. Don't pay and don't follow your payment by saying, do you remember when I sent you the check? Why you are asking for more money? You will break the relationship between the family member, but Allah knows the intention, inshallah ta'ala.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Imam. Thank you very much.
All right.
Mamun, I want to share the information about this year's for North America, the Fitra money. The FIC Council decided that it should be $15 per person in the family.
Right.
However, FIC Council of North America, they have two different. Last year they had $12 per person. But this year they have $15, but their two websites have two different numbers. You know, have the last year's number and also the new number for this year. So this year is $15 per person in the family. So there is a confusion because, you know, they have $12 and also $15. So I'm just want to clarify that for everybody.
Yeah, many mosques also put $15.
Okay, well, it came from.
Please don't take it 15, don't take it 10, don't take it 5, don't take it $100. The way you can give with love and respect, and don't make the people confusion. If I pay $9, I'm not going to accept my fasting. If I pay $25, my fasting better than your fasting. Don't do that. Allah will never ever want to deal with us with number, and we like to hide something. No, make the other person is happy. Are you able to pay $100? Go ahead, be a giver. But if I don't have, I will be the receiver. And please don't be too much. I will say the word conservative. I'm not sure how the word conservative means, but don't be too much strict, except what Allah said by number 4 rak'ah, don't pray it 5. But to be giver, leave your hand open, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you more, inshallah ta'ala.
So alhamdulillah, I think some of us.
Mamun, can I interrupt for a second again, if you allow me?
Okay, go ahead.
Imam, just you mentioned about sheep, that if it is 40 sheep, then you give away 1. The next year, if that person has 41 sheep, needs to pay again, I guess, or just paying once.
No, pay only 1 year, one on his, and the one reach the nisab. Again, we'll go to the nisab. The minute you reach the nisab, you pay. You don't reach the nisab, you don't pay.
And next year, if I have 41 again, I mean, I had 40, I gave 1 away, then next had 2 more. Now I have 41. Do I need to pay again one? Or?
Yes, you have to pay again. You remember at the beginning of the Halaqa, we said the $97 from last year.
Okay, that idea. Okay, now that good. That's what, prophets type people did. Sahabas did.
Because we are benefit from the milk, we are benefit from the skin, we are benefit from the children of the sheep. You know, we are benefit. We have to pay the haqq al-miskin and faqir, but their right, not our right.
Beautiful.
Their right to receive it.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, so I think at this point we should give privilege to our sisters and young brothers if they have any question. I think they're being quiet for a long time. Anyone has any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, please, Shine.
Okay. So in regards to zakat, if I was to give the money from account, would I mean, the safe I would do is 2.5%. Let's just say I get a paycheck from my job. Could I give 2.5% of whatever I earn?
The answer, if you know you are not using, you are not in need for the rest of the money for that period, and you will be on debt, and you are going to borrow money just for your food, your education, and you are satisfied, pay it as in advance. For 1 year, 2 years, you can do it. But if you know you are going to be in debt later on, and instead to be the giver, you will be the receiver, don't pay anything till you have the total currency as an nisab, and after 1 year, you pay it, and Allah knows the best, inshallah ta'ala.
All right, okay, Sister Nilufa is raised hand.
Yes, Imam, I would like to thank Imam. It's like he beautifully explained, actually. I'm really grateful that I joined this session today. Imam, thank you so much. You really beautifully explained everything. What question I had, the way you explained, I actually follow exactly the way you said. Like whatever money I have savings in the year for $100, I'm gonna pay like 2.5. Next year I bring another 100. I have $175. I have to pay zakat on $175. So really, I'm really thankful to you, Imam.
MashaAllah. Thank you, sister. Sister Avanti, I see that you unmute yourself. You want to talk?
Yes, I want to echo what Sister Nilufar said. Thank you, Imam, for so beautifully explaining everything. Especially, I also want to mention the hadith that you mentioned, that when you are in doubt after reading the Quran and the hadith, then apply your judgment. Yeah, I read that before, but this is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
MashaAllah.
Mamun Bhai?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I get another minute or 2 minutes?
Yes, please.
If you, Imam, and all.
Go ahead.
So since we are all talking about the zakat today, we all know that in this link, Halaqa link, Mamun Bhai sent one email for one of our sister, Uidu Fahmida Nisa. She really needs help. So I'm requesting all of my brothers and sisters in this call, please try to help her as much as you can. Actually, I know her. I got to know her through the MCGP last in 2020. So we met her, me and BT. So we actually know her very well now for the last 2 years. So my humble request to everyone, since it's the month of Ramadan is ending, and we all talk about zakat today. So please try to help this sister as much as you can. Thank you again.
Let me echo with Sister Nilufar. This sister from Bangladesh, and her husband passed away almost 2 years ago when the first COVID impact. And she has no family member, and she has 3 kids, 6 years old, 9 years old, and 12 years old. And she is in a diehard's need, and some of the community member sometime buy her food, sometime pay a little bit to fix her car, Even, I came to learn that her car, the car she really drive to take kids to the school and bring back, one of the door is broken. They basically tie with the rope. This is so
Mamun, is this the same? Is it the same person that you put as a
yeah,
GoFund?
yeah,
Okay.
the same person.
All right, got it.
So this is, we are, mashallah, in a right, place, and she is 100% zakatable. And Imam, thank you so much. I send a, link to Arif Patel, and Arif Patel from ISCJ, and he texted back to me and said, inshallah, he will also contribute. And mashallah, this is so great. A lot of people contribute. And what we are planning, that she has a mortgage, $72,000 mortgage she cannot pay sometime. So we are just trying to gather money. So if her mortgage is paid off, she probably will survive. So that's, I think, Nilufar Babi has tell everything nicely. Jazakallahu khairan.
So Mamun,
that's the amount that, I'm sorry, just 1 minute. Mamun, so the amount that you put in the GoFund is 72,000. Is that came from the mortgage, right?
Yeah, just from her bills. Yes, I saw her bill.
All right.
Yeah.
So and you also mentioned that we have been only able to 26,000 able to collect in the email that you sent.
Yeah, so far, what I'm seeing as of now, alhamdulillah, doing good. So far, we have collected 19,852. There are big amount is still deficit, but let's see what Allah does. So make dua for her also, inshallah.
Thank you, Mamun Bhai.
Okay. All right. So that's about it. I think we are almost 2 hours, and this was very beneficial. And I started the questions, and it is very clear to me, alhamdulillah. And thank you, Brother Cebli, and thank you, Brother Islam, for bringing all the ayah in references. This was so helpful that I never can get this together. So this is very good asset for us. Jazakallahu khairan. Imam, is all yours. Make dua for us.
Mamun, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, somebody told me during Ramzan time, we are not allowed to travel more than 47 miles. Is there any truth in it?
No, I don't know. Who said that?
Imam, how about Imam?
He didn't understand. Tell again, Brother Akhtar. Imam.
Okay, so one person told me, he's also a knowledgeable guy, that during Ramzan time, you are not allowed to travel more than 47 miles. If you do that,
Mahbub, do not travel back to Dallas.
You're right. And also, I cannot travel to see my
I got iftar invitation. I have to drive more than 47 miles all the time. So
I drive every month.
No, but anyway, is there any
not drive? I mean, I fly to Dallas and come back. So
let's Imam answer it.
Yeah, I want the answer from Imam. So
okay, Imam, go ahead. 47 miles.
Maybe he's asking the question about the person who does not have a driving license in New Jersey.
After you got your answer, I guess.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, you got your answer,
yes. All right, I got the answer, Brother Akhtar.
It's not the driving.
Brother Akhtar.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Imam. It's not the driving. Yeah. I'm also flying there, almost to Dallas.
No, but anyway, it's good to know. I was arguing with him. I was sure it is not correct. But if it is correct, then I'm taking a chance. So it is better to.
Somebody is calling Brother Akhtar. Brother Akhtar, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Kaifa halak?
Alhamdulillah, kaifak anta. The longest distance Prophet Muhammad sallam used to travel in Ramadan, one of them from Medina to Mecca. And when he arrived before Mecca, the people were talking, is the Prophet is fasting during that kind of traveling? Hundreds of miles, not only south, 70 miles. to tell them no, he is not fasting. He took, the milk and he drink it in front of everybody, because when you are traveling long distance in the desert, very hot, all this thing, sunnah is not to fast. Second, traveling to the Rasul Sallam from Al-Madinah to Tabuk. That was the longest journey from Medina all the way to the border of Syria, Palestine, during Ramadan. And he sometimes tell the people, don't fast, the people fast, fast is okay. But the point is here, don't compare our traveling today by plane, as brother said, or by car. When the Sahaba was traveling in the middle of the desert, no umbrella, no water, no food, nothing. But you can travel all over the world as much as you can. If you can fast, alhamdulillah. If you cannot fast, that between you and Allah.
Imam, sorry, I probably asked the question poorly. The question was in the day of, like today I'm fasting. For during one day of fasting, I'm not allowed to travel more than 47 miles. That's what he's.
Yeah, who said that? Who said that?
Yeah, he is
okay, so I have to travel between 2 cemeteries more than the distance from here to New York, and I was fasting.
Yeah, you see, he is unfortunately, he is my daughter's, father-in-law. He is very knowledgeable. He's very knowledgeable. Sometimes you make mistakes.
Maybe he said that. I agree with him. Maybe he said that not because he's relative. He said that to tell you, don't prefer taking a journey by breaking your fast, not for ibadah, and you stay at home or in the masjid, yes. But we like to know, what is the reason you're driving in Ramadan? Is it for your job? Yes, you have to drive. It is for the cemetery? Yes, you have to drive. But to drive to say, I am going to the Disneyland in Ramadan, and I am, fasting from here to Florida, I will tell you, no, don't go to anywhere. Observe your ibadah. You can let him clarify to you why he said that. Is not the sunnah to travel during Ramadan more than distance. Maybe not to break your fast, and Allah knows that. If you like to bring him alive, and may Allah reward you and reward him.
All right, inshallah. But very good. This question also we get to learn. All right, mashallah. Let's conclude at this point, Imam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن سار على هديه إلى يوم الدين وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم يا ربنا تقبل منا صلاتنا. اللهم يا ربنا وتقبل منا دعاءنا. اللهم يا ربنا بارك لنا في جمعنا. اللهم يا ربنا زدنا ولا تنقصنا وأعطنا ولا تحرمنا وأكرمنا ولا تهنا وانصرنا ولا تنصر علينا يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا ربنا بارك لنا في رمضان. اللهم يا ربنا بارك لنا في رمضان. اللهم يا ربنا بارك لنا في رمضان. اللهم يا ربنا إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم يا ربنا إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم يا ربنا إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم يا ربنا كما سلمتنا رمضان فتسلمه منا يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا ربنا اجعل شهر رمضان شاهدا لنا ولا تجعله شاهدا علينا. اللهم يا ربنا إن كنا قد أحسننا فزد في إحساننا وإن كنا أسأنا أو قصرنا فتجاوز عن إساءتنا وعن تقصيرنا. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وإلى حضرة المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم وإلى جميع أرواح أمواتنا وأمواتكم وأموات المسلمين وعلى نية قبول هذا اللقاء وعلى نية البركة في هذا اليوم ليلة عيد الفطر. الفاتحة.
بسم الله.
وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. يا brother